Hey everyone, this is Jeff with Wiseman Automotive. Today in this video, we are going to talk about torque specs. And I'm hoping in this video, it may be able to save you some money. So that way you can maximize your torque wrenches in your toolbox. Here in the States, we usually go by either Newton meters or foot pounds or inch pounds. Sometimes when you're reading the manual, it may say pounds feet. That's the same thing as saying foot pounds. I don't know why, but we just say it foot pounds most of the time. This torque wrench right here that I hold in my hand, the lowest setting is 10 foot-pounds. So what if you only had this torque wrench that goes from 10 foot-pounds to 75 foot-pounds, and you had this quarter drive inch-pound torque wrench that goes from 20 inch-pounds to 200 inch-pounds, and you need to torque something, let's say 8 foot-pounds. How would you do that? Well, we know that there's 12 inches in a foot, right? That's real simple. So here's what you do. If your torque spec is 8 foot-pounds, you take 8 foot-pounds times it by 12 inches, and you'll get 96 inch-pounds. So what I'm telling you is, if these are the only two torque wrenches you have in your box, you can still achieve this torque spec. What you do is, you set this torque wrench to 96 inch-pounds, and you tighten down that nut or bolt that you're trying to tighten down, and that's equivalent to 8 foot-pounds. Now, this 3/8 drive torque wrench, the lowest setting is 10 foot-pounds. So if you take 10 foot-pounds, you times about 12 inches, remember 12 inches in a foot, you're going to get 120 inch-pounds. So 10 foot-pounds is 120 inch-pounds. Now, let's say you need to flip that and you want to go from inch-pounds to foot-pounds. So my quarter drive torque wrench, the highest setting is 200 inch-pounds. So the highest it can go, 200 inch-pounds, divided by 12 inches in a foot, is 16.666666 foot-pounds. So this torque wrench can do just a little over 16 foot-pounds at its highest setting. I cannot tell you how many times my students have torqued bolts or nuts and they've broken them. And they said, well, I torqued it to the right setting. I torqued it to, the direction said 87 foot-pounds, and then actually the directions say 87 inch-pounds. Now, if you look at these two bolts, this right here is a 6mm bolt. See how thin that is? This right here is like I think it's like a 14, maybe a 12mm bolt. See the difference in the thickness? Obviously, this one right here can take more torque and needs more torque than this one right here. Just about every nut and bolt that's on a car has a torque spec. Sometimes you may not be able to find those torque specs in the manual, but most of them are in the manual somewhere. When you are tightening down a bolt, you got to think, is it 86 foot-pounds or 86 inch-pounds? Make sure you're reading it correctly. Another thing about torque wrenches, I see a lot of people, for some reason, they like to grab the torque wrench like right here. Just like when you see somebody nailing something with a carpenter's hammer, they take the handle and they're hitting like this. And it's like, why are you doing that? Hold it at the end, right? Same thing with a torque wrench. When you are tightening down something, you hold it here at the very end. Do not hold it here. That's not how it's meant to be. Another thing about torque wrenches is, I typically do not use them to take stuff off with. I only use torque wrenches to tighten down, not to loosen anything. If I torque something and say, oh man, I need to take that back off, then I'm going to use a regular ratchet to do that, or an impact gun or whatever. Every so often, you may want to get your torque wrenches inspected. Make sure that they are still at the proper torque. Do not leave your torque wrenches what I call loaded. In other words, if you use it, and let's say you set it all the way up to, I don't know, 100 inch-pounds, don't put it back in your drawer at the end of the day and leave it loaded. There's spring tension in there, and you do not want to leave that spring tension loaded. So, another thing to remember is that these are precision measuring instruments. In other words, they're delicate. Don't use them as hammers. Don't drop them. Take care of your torque wrenches. I hope this video helped. Let me know in the comments. Please like, subscribe, share this video, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, guys. We will see you on the next one.